Who do I change? Tiara? Do I change Tiara or do I change? No, I'm gonna leave them. Fuck it, I'm gonna leave it. All right, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell down to the goals to 13-month series doesn't get you. You can stay notified. And welcome to the discussion portion of this chapter, which I thought was mid. I'm telling you, right off rip, I didn't have a good time. I didn't. I don't. Again, maybe in a few weeks, this chapter will be a lot better, make a lot more sense. But as of right now, I'm kind of just like, it was a chapter that I read where things happened. I read words, I saw pictures, and that's about it. I'm at like a 6, maybe 5. I don't know, but we'll see what you guys are thinking. When a chapter makes you miss Bam, you know it's mud. That's crazy. It's in the mud. I'm not convinced. I don't like it. 2 squadron commander level dudes get cuffs put on by this guy. Right, I get it. These cuff items are probably some OP spell item Gustang had on purpose here. If someone strong came to take the book, and this guy must be special in some way. So in combination with that item, he can reliably handle stronger folks. But this not being in some place where there's traps to make it easy to put on the cuffs or something or explanation is not good is good enough, it is dumb. Yama dragging Yas to the mid tier with him, bro should have died during the Nest arc. Yama and Yas don't really have chemistry to carry a chapter. This shit is worse than mid to me. You two motherfuckers are 12 weeks behind. Show up to the sometime to the stream. Yeah, talk to them. Let them know. Tell them about themselves. Why y'all not on the stream live, watching me do my thing, watching me cook? But yeah, okay, so is what's bothering a lot of you guys is just like it just seems like an overly complex plan with no good reason. Like Gustang seems to know, be aware of the book, so why not just be like, I'm gonna just go get it myself? But also, like, I think you said this earlier, Katana. It's like, why have like you? It's one thing if like you do the thing where like I thought what was gonna happen. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Let me focus. I thought it was like to hide a tree, put it in a forest. So I thought that in this entire library, every book looks like a regular book and is pretty much inconspicuous to the point that even if you picked up that book, you might not know it's significant. You might just think it's a regular book. But he has it like a museum when you're going to go for a heist and take the diamond. It's in this protected case in the middle with the spotlight on it. And it's like, that's obviously the important book. Unless Gustang tricking us, making us think that's the book, but really the book is just on the shelf somewhere. I don't know, but that's kind of the issue. I feel like that's kind of like Gustang's too smart for something a little low, this low brow. I guess is how I'm seeing it. I don't know if you guys agree with that. This chapter score is what messing on. So you didn't even move this week. Ah, damn, we need what the Korean thinks. Yo, Lizard, if you're here, if you can find a couple of comments, send them, hit my Discord. I need the what does Korea think section. Would love to see what the Koreans think this week exactly. If this guy is fast, strong, probably to put on cuffs just like that on 2 squadron levels, dude, just throw him out there to fight Lobaton and Keenan together. Shit. I kind of feel you on that. Like I'm sure amongst the family is the first librarian, and this guy looks just like Gus Dang. I'm sure he's the direct descendant that's very strong in the family. But yes, this is a Slayer who's supposed to take down a family head and a squadron commander. They're no joke. You would have to be an incredibly competent high ranking high ranker to be able to handle them. Even if, again, I don't know if after it looks like they took a nap. They slept, right? This it looks like. Is Yasracha's not at full power, I guess, or he's just dying? Is he just dying? Can he still use full power, but he's gonna die no matter what? Earlier, when he was fighting my man with the blicky, with the blicks, there was like, I'm not on my prime, but really, I mean, like he's tired from all the fighting he was doing in the nest still or whatever. So I'm like, he didn't recover from the fight with Trauma Ray and his creatures. Is he good now? Like I don't even know if they're at full power fighting him. Once the cuffs were on, did the magnetism slow them down so much that like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer, Sway. If the book is that important, you would think he'd keep it on him in his personal library or something. I will give him this. I have this inclination that Gus Dang, when he discarded his memories, some way somehow forgot that maybe he put his memories in that book. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm misreading the situation in the conversation that him and Trauma Ray had. I have to revisit it. I just wanted a better translation. That's why I wanted. That's why I said I made like the little short. Like I'm not sure. what we're doing here. But yeah, wait, sorry, what did you just say? So maybe he put it in there, and now that he remembers it, he wants to retrieve it. Maybe he forgot the importance and significance of it. But then again, why would you hide it the way you hid it? And why wouldn't you go get it yourself? Like that seems too important. Like even if it's my right hand, like that's too significant for me not to go myself and get it. And Gustang has already showed that he's willing to pull up in certain spots to protect Aguero from like Traumare or something, or like pull up on Traumare, pull up to the hidden to the floor of death. So he's a stepper. So it's not like he's Traumare very hands off naturally. It seems like he's willing to get his hands dirty. So I'm not sure that it's consistent here. Sadly, no Korean comments this week. Okay, it is what it is. You know what would have made the smart twist Gustang hitting the book in the maze? The one that Traumare is in, you mean? Um, yes, why I said I get the OP item with the spell ignition weapon or whatever. But give me something more like that room has some special traps to help him put the cuffs on and stuff. Motherfuckers just say after we put the cuffs on him, oh, he's fast. Yeah, that's true. There's no way Gusting doesn't have 10 backup plans in case his burger son fails to get the book. That much I can agree with, I think. A burger son. Important question is, when did Gustang make the decision to get the book? It's def before he met Trom to put him in the maze, so he could have gotten already. He also has the warp device that Trom is chasing, so he definitely had enough time. I don't know. I want to say it probably started around the time he was studying the device he got from Rachel in the treasure stealing Stingray after we sent Bam to the hidden floor, the sword art arc, because he has the Fitbit. So I'm thinking that somehow gave him insight to maybe what he had lost. I told you, y'all, we're really Castle Oblivion season right now. We don't got our memories. We losing stuff. Yama's Thor now. Every new guy that shows up in the story dunks on him to show their power level. Yeah, he's having. In case anyone doesn't know what he's talking about, I've used. Not always used. I've noticed. I noticed for a very long time in Marvel, anytime they wanted to showcase the physical prowess and threat of a new antagonist, they always had Thor loose in them. Actually, occasionally they'd use Hulk. Like Black Bolt, his words are so powerful. What should we do? Let Thor loose to them. And then they'll know he's strong. Hulk came back. He's angry. What do? Have him, clap up Black Bolt and beat it. Like Yama's starting to secretly kind of become the guy to show who's strong. You have him like struggle or whatever. I do agree with anything incredibly exciting with this chapter compared to the last two chapters, but I personally don't mind that. The Yama group POV events are progressing and we are seeing things develop. So even if we didn't get any answers, we're seeing how the situation is meant to develop and how things go down. I think is what people would often call a transitional chapter, which is what it is, in my opinion. I don't know. I guess for me it's like the contents of the chapter I don't particularly care for. Like that binding, I thought that binding thing was a little over. Like I don't know, it didn't move me. Someone earlier said yes, Ratch and Yama don't have enough chemistry to carry a chapter. I'm gonna have to agree with that. And based like I really think it should work and it could have worked based on what we know with his past and Wang Wang and everything. It's just not moving me. I don't know. Just me though. Maybe you feel differently. That's okay. I'm just remembering that one moment in Doctor Strange 2 with Black Bolt. Oh yeah, but Black Bolt actually is a clown. Like, all things considered, anytime I see Black Bolt, he's getting his ass beat. I don't read him. The Thor thing, the TV trope called the Worf effect. It's a good read if you got time later. Oh, Worf. That's Star Trek. Is that Star Trek? Is that Worf Star Trek? Am I thinking the right thing? I never knew there was an actual term for it, but I've seen it in a lot of storytelling and whatnot. But if there's like something I could read, sure, I'll read it. Yeah, that's why this chapter is bad. It's like you need to lay out some stuff before these events and make it more clear so we know what's going to you know what some wait, so we know what's going to some next and actually can enjoy it instead of having so many questions and questioning what seems like inconsistency so far. But the power scaling stuff has no excuse in my opinion unless the library dude just ends up being super OP. I wonder what Karaka is cooking. He just disappeared on then. Karaka and Paul chilling. I don't remember Paul being with them, but if Paul's with them, I forgot about it. That's on me. But Karaka, I feel like they were using him as a hidden like force. Like they show that me, Doan, Yamma and Yasracha, us four are here and didn't show Karaka, and his observer was kind of there. So I think Karaka is like a possible failsafe. Oh damn, missed the actual reaction. Rip. Chapter was if Yas dies, I'd probably be a shit death. It was kind of I kind of want more. If he goes out, not moved enough. I understand. Again, I'm not mad at anybody. I know I usually would start in like maybe half an hour, around like 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's my bad. It was just one of those things where like I got home and I already finished working and working out, and like I have time now. I don't want to wait just to wait because I might procrastinate. You never know if I lie in that bed if I'll get back up. So I said, let me just do it while I'm here. So I'm sorry for that, guys. But you can see that live reaction early if you want that Patreon. If Karaka gets the book and pulls the plan out of anyone, he gets some stocks. I don't know. I'll give him a little bit of credit for that. This chapter was trash. Infinite. I'm surprised to see that from you. Talk to me. What are you thinking about this chapter? What are you thinking about? You're usually high on these chapters. Yeah, I'm gonna touch on death. Part of one chapter is bad, but to me, it's mainly because the events can't move me because I'm more confused than anything trying to figure out what's going on in this shit fest. Seems like a lot of inconsistency too. It's a little messy. I think it's a little bit muddled right now. Wait, where even is Paul? What happened to him? When's the last time we saw him? I think when they got teleported out, or of the last of the nest or whatever. But I don't remember him being with he wasn't down there with Yasaracha and Yama. So I in my head I thought he got teleported to the snow garden. Maybe we should just check. Let's just check, I guess. Let's take a gander. See, I'm trying to remember when the nest actually ended though. So this is I see no, this is still no, this is still they're still there here. I gotta find like the snow garden chapter, maybe. Is that Laura? I see Spider Mommy here. Let me see this. What's this? I think this is when Chamare flexed his Shinwan Ryu. Nah, Paul's not with them. It's Doom. It's Yasracha. Okay, let me see. I'll put it here. My bad. I'll put it here so you guys can follow what I'm doing. I'm just trying to see what's going on. Is this the last chapter they're here though? I don't remember. I think this chapter was so. Wait, sorry. Let me see what you guys are saying. Ooh. Oh, and I asked for answers or fights. We got fights, so I'm happy for now. I'm trying to hold judgment until this arc ends and the next begins. SLU seems like he's changed out a couple times now. I want to give him time to breathe as long as he's moving the story along. All right, fair enough. The chapter was so mid because we know the needle won't move too far until Bam gets there, and the action and dialogue was subpar compared to the recent chapters. Yeah, that's fair enough with the chemistry bit. I'm not saying it's a remarkable chapter or anything. I really like Lebaron's part of the chapter the most. I'm just chilling. I'm not really having much issue with the chap, even if it's that spicy. That's why I think the chapter is more like a 6 or 7 if I'm generous. That's fair. Funniest part of the chapter was Lobadan still wanted to sacrifice the beaskins. He said, if y'all not fast enough, they will die. They will get bodied. He did say that. That is true. You're not wrong about that. Um, this shit should have been winding up in the beginning. The timing for the POV's bad storytelling. You went from two family heads talking about N to this 300 to 10 transition. I'm tired of SLU teasing Yas death. Either kill him or not. At this point, I want Yama to die. Also, he annoying me. I literally said in my live reaction, get rid of both of them to the first class librarian. I think Paul got put to bed after the Windbird and never showed up again. I kind of forgot about Paul. LOL. It's funny how thinking back to before Dune's first appearance, he ended up being so useless and consistent. Just give me a break with the K9 stuff. Paul got teleported out of the story. I'm still looking. I'm gonna find our guy, bro. We're gonna find him. Okay, this is when he got mad at this Shinwan Ryu, and then Kirin told him that I think Gustang pulled up, so we should be reaching the end at some point. Inside the warp fleet, you're doomed. They're connecting the ship. They're trying to escape now, and he's just looking around. And this is when Lilial's there, and she's in the towel, still in the towel. Didn't begin to leave. Blah whoop de whoop whoop de wah. They got teleported. End of the next episode. They get teleported. So there's Karaka. So it's okay. So with this current squad, we have Karaka, Doom, Yasracha, Yama. The warp done, and Hansung Yu was there. I guess. No, Hansung Yu with them, or is he with someone else? I don't remember Hansung being with them actually. Blah 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 blah. Okay, this when Rachel comes back. I'm just gonna see. I'm just trying to see if he's by the if he's in the snow garden. That's what I'm trying to find out. Okay, he's on the ship with Jin Sung and them. Blah blah blah. Scrolling. I don't know, man. If I don't find it in the next two chapters, I'm done looking. I'm tired. I don't actually care that much. Yes, Ratchet, don't die. See, he. There's this guy. I thought might be raw. Floating ship. Show me the snow garden. Where is that? And that's when Bam. And that's when Okay, this is the last. This is the last chapter I'm checking. Or somebody find it for me. Where the snow garden is at. Blah blah. Whoop. Oh, this chapter was awful. Oh God, I hated this chapter. I don't know, dog. I don't know. I tried. I'll find it later. Maybe I'll make a quick short talking about where Paul is at. But I'm not. I'm not about to kill myself looking for Paul of all people. Link the TV tropes. Oh, you read it on TV tropes. Okay, I got you. Thank you. Honestly, what was the point of Paul? I actually, I had spoken. I had made. I had spoken about this. I thought what was gonna happen, or what could still happen. I guess is the idea to me is that Doom was gonna die. I thought Doom was gonna die. And I thought with Yama getting all the fangs and Arcanak, he'd become like a true slayer and leave to go like travel and do his fucking job and slay. Slay, bitch. And I thought Paul would become the leader of the cage as Doom passed away and as Yama went to do FUG stuff. So I thought Paul was gonna lead the Houndborns. That was what I thought. Because remember, he couldn't like do transformations, and he did, but he would lose his mind, and he was fighting the Windbird guy. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, Paul chilling with Phantom Medium Enemy right now. Since EU earlier the reaction to better, I was just particularly busy today. I was glad I can catch you after that at least. Okay, fair enough. I don't SCU too much though. With this many characters and TOG, it's hard to keep up with them. We keep them interesting to actually matter in the story at every point. But when they are involved in the plot that's going on at the moment, I would say you actually are blaming SIU because if you can't handle too many characters, you shouldn't introduce so many characters. So it's still his fault. I hear what you're saying. At this point, it is what it is. But if you don't have the capacity to handle a bunch of characters, um, and an ever growing cast as you move up in the story, you probably shouldn't do so many, or you should be willing to use more as throwaways and actually have them die. I always said that I thought SIU and Oda used to be good at this. So the analogy that I always use is like every character is like a reindeer on the sleigh. And at one point they can control the reins to go, I want to go left, halt, go right, U-turn. And there became a point there's so many characters and not enough time to focus on any of them in any meaningful capacity that now the sleigh is pulling him. He can't control it anymore. I think SIU fell into the exact same trap Oda did. Don't overdo it with the characters if you can't handle that many. So I would still blame him personally. It feels forced to have the cuffs as a plot device. Thank you. That shit is that's. I just think the handcuffs are trash. That's just me. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Maybe it becomes something. I just think it's ass. It feels forced to have the cuffs plot device to have Yas and Yama bond. Yama was better than Ness than how he feels a dumbass for no reason. Just look on the wiki to see where Paul is. Oh, true. I guess I could have done that. I wouldn't put an effort for Paul. Facts. Speaking of Labaddon, I liked how he's depicted with much respect and pros in his style of command. He definitely sets up a far more respectable, intelligent nature to how he commands compared to the officers we've seen in the series. And also, he actually respects the men under his command. He's a military officer that I can respect compared to the others we've seen. I don't actually like dislike Labaddon or anything like that. He's not an issue right now. We have to see it play out though, but I don't disagree with that. Oh Lord, not Bam versus Lilia, yeah. Cluster is a plot device to kill Yasracha, I guess, but to make it make sense at least, damn it. the way that it was written, you might have just had the cuffs fall from the sky and end up on Yama and Yatsuracha, even though I get it as well. I don't want to waste too much time on that boring ish. Paul looks the most Lupopia out of the dogs, so I figured he'd get recruited by Lupopia at some point. At one point, I thought each brother would get a fang since there's three of them. I guess at this point, it's all for Yama. And the idea, I think, is to make Yama uncontrollable beastkin that cannot be tamed the same way Wang Wang willingly chose to be subservient to Traumare, the same way Yasrach was like, "You have to give me control. I can't control you anymore. You got stronger." The cuffs are if the cuffs were to kill Yas, why not just kill him in the nest? Why drag it out? Just to transfer power at that moment instead of pushing that plot line this far back. I want to say maybe it was so he can have a diplomatic conversation with Labaddon, having been from that family, having known Wang Wang, and them having some shared history. Maybe Yas Ratcha as that broker would put him more at ease than Yama trying to be like, remember Yama's like, guess we have no deal, time to fight. That's my best guess. There is literally almost as many named characters as there are chapters. That's crazy to think. What do you think of Yama sacrificing himself for Yas so he can be free, like Wang Wang did for him? I think it could be cool to see Yas go into complete despair. Oh. It's just like why did we do all this stuff with Yama and then Nea and Wang Wang then, right? Giving him Arcanak and all that. Like I'm not a fan of it. I know people were saying it'd be interesting if Yama actually dies and gives all the fangs and everything to Yasaracha and Yasaracha becomes a slayer, but like I said in the live reaction, if this librarian dude kills both of them, I'll sleep like a baby. I don't think I see Yasaracha surviving and Yama dying, only the other way around, or both survive. I'll drop DOG. I sweat. You always swear. Yeah, I feel it. Let me go through this real quick. Okay, but I mean, okay, so let me ask you guys this: how do we feel about the librarian dude at the very least? Like, as far as his introduction, him being able to be fast enough to put handcuffs on Yama and Yasaracha in one fell swoop, and he was kind of doing his thing, and I guess maybe he's an ignition weapon. And do you find that it was significant that Gustang specifically sent him, not like Tiara or somebody else, maybe like Bellaria or Belleria, whatever his name is? Like, do you think that this guy's maybe a super top ranking person in the Pobedal family? What do you think? Both need to die. Dang thing for Slayer. No, no, we don't want that. Librarian clean. He's cool. Okay. I feel like we don't have any strong thoughts in any direction. Def seems like a very shit family head. Looks like he's gonna be a Lopobia civil war rather than a Pobedal versus Lopobia secretly. With Keating seeming to have all those branches on the heads on his side, wanted to take over, and seemed like a Labada on the other side. Now Jordan was the goat for the new Slayer. Jordan, I feel Jordan. He seems interesting, but S needs to give him some more personality. Okay. Pobedal standing Armstrong is clean. I like to think that Gustang chose his ass for a reason. He seems cool. Glad the family members have members on the level of the cast still. In my opinion, we need 10 of him in like every family. I think the only thing that somewhat maybe bothers me is I feel like if you're a squadron commander in Jihad's army, you should probably be one of the strongest people in the tower. And I wanted to give Yas Ratchet that respect, but I don't know. Maybe he's dying, so he's weak or something. I'm tired. I can't be bothered. He's cool. I think Gustang's trusting him more. Trust him more. Also, knows the possibilities of moles in their family, so he's a trustworthy guy. The librarian is very loyal, at least, which is important for a job like this one. Yeah, I definitely think he's probably high ranking Popa down to see more. Give those fangs to Elaine. Elaine for Slayer. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. That's moving me. I need that. I believe that. Okay, so let's say so hypothetically speaking, let's say that Yas Ratcha wasn't like injured or dying and he came into this room and had to fight this guy. You think he could beat him? And then I want to ask the same question for Yama, like 1v1. Do you think he could beat him? Well, it seems like there's only one or two in the 10 families who are as strong or stronger than squadron commanders, is what seems like it so far. But who knows? Because I'm looking at Lopobia and I'm assuming Omi Lobadan is a bit stronger. At least I think Kirin and Lobadan would be those two like super high ranking officers, and maybe this librarian guy is one of them. Yas dying, SU taking away all his stonks and crashing Neko coin before he goes. A Neko coin. For him to get smoked by Yama and Yas makes Gustang look stupid. Oh, for the Caliban fight. I'll say this: Caliban's style of fight and Yas. Well, actually, that's not entirely true because Yas Ratchet can control the canines because of the fanging. I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. He does fight pretty physically, all things considered, with claws and whatnot. Can't beat him with that transformation. Yaswasha wash at full power, so does Yama. Okay. I want to believe that he'd beat them, especially in his transform state. Yama lost a gun control dude. You're going to get washed here. But he wasn't at full power. He was still tired and hurt from the battle that he had with Trauma Rado. They're way too busted when they're healthy, which might be the reason why they're debuffed right now. But you have to, yeah, that has to make sense though. You have to be good. You can't just do that for no reason, you know. So I'm thinking every 10 family has a couple few equal to or greater than squadron commanders, but that might be totally wrong. I do think families have people like that. I just imagine like a Slayer and a squadron commander pulls up on you, and you're just like, yeah, y'all not nice like that. Like I don't know, that seems pretty significant. That's all I'm saying. I agree, but with Jihad not having a real family of his own, 5 squadron commanders, 3 substitute leaders, and who knows what else in the princesses, families are worthless if they don't even have enough good members to 1v1 some clown slayers. True. Library might be a super special book. Key mode, I don't know. Look, I hate when characters are not at full power, so I feel it. It's just like, I don't. It's one of those things where like I don't hate it. It's just like it has to make sense as long as we're doing it and we're executing it in a manner that I think is palatable. Yeah, there's no issue. It's just sometimes I'm like I remember going back to check the chapter where Yasracha got genjutsu and everything, and I'm like, it doesn't look like Yama was taking any damage. Is it just because he's in that mode and it takes a lot out of him, so he's tired? Because it made it more seem like he wasn't recovered, but he didn't seem like he got hurt like that. I don't know. Slayers seem to greatly vary from what we've seen, though. Karaka definitely not equal to Squadron Commander, equal to someone like Yuri. Then you got White, who's maybe a bit stronger than Squadron Commander. Then you got Yama, who I don't know was when we first saw him a bit weaker than Squadron Commander. I think it varies in all capacities, like, and I'm sure every squadron commander has their specialty and whatnot. Because I was saying with Yasracha, like maybe his animal abilities what set him apart initially before we saw everything that he could do. Um, Calivan be punching niggas. He's just a physical fighter. He likes to punch. Do we see any other squadron commanders? I don't know. I don't know that if I agree that White is as strong as a squadron commander though. I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe equal to. I don't know if I don't know if I go stronger. Karaka definitely is the baby slayer, so I understand that. Which is why I think making him a higher ranker during the 2-year time skip and hiatus was a bad idea. I think keeping him as a ranker kept him somewhat grounded and credible to like, oh yeah, like like when Calahelm's arrow barely scratched him in the nest in the cage or whatever, because he's kind of still the newest baby slayer. But I don't know, dog. I'm tired. SIU going SIU, man. I don't know why Gustang would trust his random library and not his daughter, who seemed like she could be a Dory terms of power. She did say she could take on a family head. She can't do that. She obviously she can't take on a family head. You have to remember. You have to remember. Sometimes you have to take in the character's personality and know if they're a reliable narrator. She said it would be interesting to try or whatever, but obviously she would die. 2, I don't know that for sure she's actually more powerful than this librarian guy, though as far as I'm concerned, the most competent Popadon member I've seen is her. I don't know if that Belrier guy with the shit on his head is also equally as competent, so we'll have to see. But her ability makes her very hard to beat if you're not like Bam or something, so it could be useful here. But maybe it's because he already deployed her and Mate to do something else. So just one of those things where it's like I've already sent TR on the job, and it's an important one that relates to the Slayer. I'll send him to do this. So that's a possibility. Karaka also a new Slayer compared to the ones like White, so I can see White's weaker comparison. The special Popadon members may have special spells only they can do, like Tiara and Library in this chapter, because I can't see all the Popadon heavy hitters having spells. Yeah, he has a spell with the Despair Cuffs and the key. She has it with the little book and like the transport yourself into the book. So maybe he's giving a lot of spells. SH should definitely put a hole through Yama for it to be more convincing. That'd be nice. Age does not seem to play a factor when it comes to strength within TOG. Yeah, White was kind of washing Caliban for that. I remember though. Am I remembering that wrong when he got all his power back? Even though I think Caliban might have had his hands tied by the time, he still looked like White was going crazy and cutting him up. Well, here's what I was saying. He used the wound that Bam inflicted on Caliban to cut his arm off. Caliban was mostly playing defense and trying to find like the right moment to strike. He's mostly just guarding. And for a while I think he did have his hand behind his back. I don't think White's stronger than Caliban. And I don't think he had the stamina at that point to be able to continuously put out that output. That's just my opinion. Because ultimately, Caliban hasn't technically ever lost to Bam, and White did. Now you can get Rack and Aguero help. Okay, fine. Yes, I get it, but I don't know. You guys can do with that information you will. I'm done with White. I don't rate him. I don't respect him. He's a bozo. Fuck that nigga. All right, that's where I'm at. Except for regulars like Bam, I know we can solve it. Just kill Yama and Yas, kill all the dogs. We wasting time. Just annihilate Beastkins. What if he's not talking about Tiara? Then there's no way she can take on a family head. She's like Yuri level or something. I don't see how she can even close to that. She's below a squadron level for now. I think I agree with that. Adori definitely can't kill a family head, even if she's on family power level, simply due to the immortality contract. Nothing she could do against that. I would need to reread that chapter again. Fair enough. I don't care about White either. I'm just thinking about power scaling. I got you. I remember Tiara used the book, and it seemed like Bam and her were evenly matched, and he's an irregular. Nah, they didn't fight. Bam was just running away. They didn't really fight, and her spell wasn't really working on him. So they're not evenly matched. Bam is stronger than Tiara, Yuri, all those people. She's stronger. He's stronger than all of them. Well, as long as we agree, Lord Labam would watch Caliban in the fight now. Oh yeah. I've always attested that SIU powered up a couple of these characters to stay on par with Bam, or to give the illusion they're still stronger. I used the example of Caliban getting the electric storm power up and getting his arm back, and like I feel more charged up now. So it's like he got stronger as Bam got the white power up, and then we like retroactively have buffed and not fully finished up powering Yama, because Yama has to get all the fangs first and foremost, and that would likely give him the ability to use days to control beastkins, if not specifically canine people or houndborns. In addition to Arcanak, learning that Nenea had Arcanak go into him. So they got stronger too, in a way. And I felt like that was to help them keep pace with Bam, the same way he gave out some extra handouts to Rack and Aguero. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. That's just how I took it. LOL, what? Rad's running around. Tiara was the only one trying to shit on him, and when he just negating it, if Bam fought Tiara seriously, she is out after a few minutes. Agreed. I'd give her at least that, since she's definitely stronger than what is stupid named Lopo B assassin Bam just beat. Oh, Ren, y'all setting up the greatest chair with these absurd claims. They're setting her up. She's not that nice, but she's cold. Let's go overboard. I want my MC back. I need Siebel to come save us. The last few chapters he's been absent, has been mid. Save us. 25th Bamkun. Bam Hyung Nim. So yeah, man. What do you guys think is gonna happen next? And when do you think we go to the snow garden? There better not be a beehive over there. What do you guys happen? What do you guys think? What do we go to the snow garden? And I can agree that like talking, seeing the family has to do what they do, and jumping to this is like it was way less interesting. You have to do that, but I think it would have been better if he did this a bit more. What is the snow garden? Is that what it's called? Sorry, the Arlene tree. You know what I'm talking about, where like Mule Love and Sophia and them are at. The tree of Arlene or whatever. Would you care what the snow garden if Mule Love wasn't there? It's Arlene connected, it's FUG affiliated, so it's got important lore implications. But yes, I admit that my biggest intrigue is wanted to see Mule Love. I won't lie about that. I want to see my guy Blue Or. He's surfing. Gang, he a crip niggas. We in blue, yes sir. But yeah, man. But yeah, I admit it. You pat me. I see Kidding versus Lobodan at some point. I don't know about Trom and Gustang and where a war between the two families is gonna go. But Bama's gonna. what I'm about to do right now. And honestly, I don't know what to think about it right now. I need some answers, at least some explanation to what makes to that made sense before all this. I can see Kitty and Lobadan going at it. This will be definitely more interesting. I want to see more from Sophia, learn some lore, see her chicken lover, see Elaine. You think Luthek is at the Snow Garden? I don't. I don't. I'm starting to think in my head. This is just my tinfoil hat conspiracy, if you will. I don't think that Lusek is going to show up unless a family head is literally about to kill Bam, or until Bam is ready to lead FUG, and then he will join Bam as a supporter on some Cha type beat. Like he will be subservient to him almost off rip, the same way Cha was, because he followed his father V type of thing. That's what I'm starting to think. I don't think we're gonna get Lusek in the way we thought we were, because we were all thinking he might pull up, and we know if he moves, a family head will also move as well. So it's not in his best interest yet. So I think he's just biding his time. That's what I think, though. What do you guys think? I know a lot of you guys are excited to see Lusek. It's not that I'm not. I just don't think it's gonna happen sooner. I think it's gonna happen later. I almost think we'd see a few more family heads, like anywhere between 1 and 3, before we see Lusek. Do you think Lusek is just really smart, clever, whatever, and that's what FUG is standing also with him, or the 10 family just don't care enough to take him out? I don't think they see they from. There's a lot of statements that say that they don't see FUG as a legitimate threat, more as a nuisance and a slight annoyance. Like they're not actually a danger to them. Wolhike Sung is a little bit different because at the end of the day, Urek is like the co-founder or co-leader. So Wolhike Sung, even if it has less members and still a bunch of regulars in it or rankers and whatnot, is more dangerous to them because the leader is an irregular, so to speak. That's just my interpretation of it, though. Imagine looking at Batman thinking he'd be a good leader. The future of FUG is dark. That's the case. The dark change. Become the dark leader for the dark FUG to beat the dark. This looks like Hike's not it. We've been waiting for this man for so long that when we actually see him, it might be underwhelming because of expectations. I can see that. Hoping SU doesn't kill Yas next chapter purely because he'd be going out sad. Other than that, I want to see more Hugo and Lobadan. They somewhat have my attention at least. I know we're going back to trauma or gusting for a few chapters. SU is feeding us crumbs. How you feeling about Doan? She's a moron. I hate her. She sucks, and I want her out the story. I hope she dies. She's not growing on me. I would agree, but the average 10 family member would still take FUG somewhat seriously and hunt them down to kill them. So it's kind of impressive that FUG stays, I guess. Forgot what floor they're on, but Urek is on floor 77 and Lusek is on 88. So I think we'll get to his floor before Lusek pulls up. Yeah, we'll hike Sung's headquarters on floor 77. Granted, some people would argue that 2 family heads are already moving. I don't know about that one, especially when the other family heads just might be more version. I'm talking about like if Lusek specifically starts to make a move, it's almost like we have to have a family head move to keep him in check. Gustang's moving on his own whims, and Tramaray's following Zahard's will. So I think that's a little different. Though I hear you. I hear you. I get your point. Imagine if Lusek ends up like a Vankel. Don't let that happen. I will cook him. I don't have any pre love for Lusek. I will roast him into oblivion if he's a Vankel levels of Bozo. Who likes Doan? Nobody cares about her indecisive moral BS. It feels like she just steals panels away or just forcing us when she appears. I really feel that. She's awful, man. She's just awful. God. Bring back the sister. For me, mister. I need the sister. But yeah, this chapter was whatever, man. I don't have any strong opinions, but we'll have to see what happens. Don't speak this loose like blasphemy to existence. I'm just saying, man. I'm confused what SIU is planning with this memory. Do you think the family heads are endgame or admin or some force in the tower? I am more and more starting to think that like there's some dangerous ass administrators and floor rulers and tower habitants 134th floor and above. I do still think some family heads will probably be endgame, but maybe not all of them are not in the way that we initially thought. That's why I think with this memory, what we might figure out is actually why they stopped climbing and then created the Zahard Empire, created the 10 great families, and started to like just stagnate. Gustang did say something last chapter I found interesting, where he says that like family heads, leaders have like lost their importance and lost their significance in the tower. Do you guys agree with that though? I think they're in the background and maybe people don't think about it or think about them as often, but I don't know if you can ever really call them truly insignificant. Um, Although considering that Jahad has always placed effigies and annihilation on all three on his three orders, and he's been able to make effigies survive all this time despite people opposing, I just don't want to see that see something that minor. How many floors are there? I wonder. 206. Final answer. I don't know. With the relation of this week's chapter of Webtoons, it actually tracked well with the revolution group's plan to cause the war, but will their end goal of taking both outwork? I think the moles on both sides are revolution members. Public information. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I don't know. It feels based on what Gustang was saying that they didn't stop climbing because they couldn't, but for some other reason. Yeah. There was always that blog post statement about the hostile administrator, and I don't know what happened, but and then something caused Jihad to not climb. We have that statement from the hidden floor where Bam's fighting him, and he's like he's making him want to make me want to adventure again, and it's like real Jihad. Remember why you even started climbing in the first place. So maybe, but maybe Jihad himself also forgot and discarded those memories. I don't know. I don't know though. I don't know, dog. I just think right now everything is a muddled mess. The water is not clear. It's murky. I can't see the bottom. It's not a crystal clear ocean where I can see the sand and rocks. Hopefully, it can converge in a way that makes sense. But as of right now, all I think we have right now is a bit of a mess. There's so many things moving, and I don't necessarily see how they're all connected. But again, maybe I'm wrong, and he'll bring it all together in a way that's seamless, palatable, and we'll be like, and I'll be like, you know what? I was a dummy for not believing. Should have believed. So yeah, that is that. I guess he needs to give better answers and don't confuse us more since they don't make sense when he does. I wonder how the boss learned about where Gustang's book was. What if he was there when Gustang put his memories away? You think the captain or the boss is that old? Interesting. I don't know if you were here, Lizard. Some people were thinking that Karaka, the boss slash the captain, and or was it just those two? And Wagnan could be the key, or could be like the Jihad's memories. Do you think Gustang is bad, or do you think he's pulling a cold Gies with being looked at as a bad leader so he can protect the family heads from monsters beyond at the top? I think morality in the tower tends to be more in the gray area. I don't look at most characters as good or bad, or good or righteous or evil, good or bad necessarily. It's just like this is a guy who does this, this is the girl who does that. So like we're probably already not on the same wavelength, but I would say that Gustang is definitely an antagonist. I don't think he's on our side per se, but I would argue that he is acting more out of selfishness, self-gain, um personal things and being having his daughter and maybe his, Eurasia taken from him. Like I think he's acting more on some personal stuff. It's not like I'm doing this for the greater good of the tower. No. But is he a evil son of a bitch? I can't answer that yet. But I'm sure he's killed millions. So by that metric, yes. But yeah. Who's truly like a good person in this tower? You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to become the Pirate King, but there was too many chapters, so he forgot. Tower God conversation. What's up, Vince? How you going? How you doing, bro? We just talking about the latest chapter. If the boss is a memory, it might track. The boss was there when Doan was put away for. Oh, you're right. He was there since the from the I almost said the era of peaceful coexistence. Hidden Grotto, Hidden Grove. What were they called? So I can see that being the case. The organization that intrigued me the most is the workshop, especially since they exist out of the tower too. They got help. They got all kinds of adventures. It might be fun to have a discussion about them at some point. I will need to reach out again though. I did talk about them in my organizations video, but it wasn't dedicated to the workshop. We talked about various organizations. So we talked about FUG, the Jihad Empire, Wolhike Sung, the workshop, and maybe give or take one or two more small groups, I think. But getting a dedicated conference for that wouldn't be a bad idea. Nice memory, yeah. The only truly good character in Tower is Traveler. I've also seen the theory that those three being the memories of Heart, and I agree with it because it would fit. I don't dislike the idea of that. Honestly, I don't dislike it. I think it would make sense. I just want to check to see if there's anything else here I need to care about. Is Yash Hunter gonna die, guys? Is he dead? Is it over for him, or is he gonna keep dragging this out? I don't think he's gonna die yet. I think he's gonna drag it out longer. Mm. Morally, a tower climber or someone who manages them is typically at least somewhat great. Now, if it was just normal people living in their homes in the outer towers, living a good life with the family they built, then they are basically more akin to normal people, give or take potential tower climber influences. Prince is a good character. That man gave his life. Wasn't Prince kind of like a jerk and like bought people and like made them serve him though at first? Am I misremembering that? Am I thinking of Lurker or something? I don't know. Fair enough though. It would be really interesting. Like, do you think that the workshop outside inside the tower are in contact? Could people from the workshop go out if they wanted the tower? It just seems the most intriguing and powerful organization that seems low key. I would love the idea that this is maybe how Arlie knows a way out of the tower. It's connected to the workshop outside and inside the tower, and maybe that's how, part of the reason they're able to create such incredible weaponry because you're working in conjunction with things outside the tower you can't get in there, and vice versa. I think the workshop is very interesting. I've always been interested in revisiting them when we were like when the characters were stronger or ranker level or whatever the case was to like do something else with it. So I'm here for it. He should die. Nobody's gonna survive. I hope he drags it out because I won't be moved. And I love Yas, but he doesn't have anything planned for him. It might be better to get rid of him either way. I'm sad. SU killed Bird Guy and a few other characters, so he might kill Yas. Maybe. If the workshop could leave, why didn't couldn't the reg just hit them up? He might not know. I don't know if it's common knowledge that people know the workshop's connected to the outside. I think it's dramatic irony. We, as the readers, know that the characters in the narrative do not. I could be wrong. I don't remember. Prince was definitely a dick during the 20th floor, but he got out of that upon joining Sweet and Sour. We talking about everything but the chapter. Yeah, Prince. Yeah, Prince was kind of a dickhead. So then, so some people that's not nice. Buying people and making them work for you. That's a form of slavery or entrapment or whatever the case is. I don't know. Like, I think there's a lot of people who consider that to be an evil thing to do. A lot of people, no matter what the reason is for taking somebody's life, they would consider that an irreversible act of evil. So I think you have to go with your own ethical compass, use your own moral code. My moral code is not very good. I'm not a good person, so I wouldn't use my morality meter. Like I'm not a great person, so I'm an awful human being. I'm a terrible person. I'm evil. I'm not just. I'm not just. So you got to use your own metrics there. Yeah, Urek isn't a regular, but he also seems ignorant to the outside world. He just knows that there's a sky. I think he's ignorant to how to get out the tower or go in and out the tower. I legitimately believe that Urek comes from like South Korea. Like he's from our world. When we talked about the night in the sky. That was the impression I got way back when I read that moment post Dollar Show with Hulkling and everyone and Rachel and everything. But no, sorry, no, I'm sorry. Post not post Dollar Show. I apologize. Post Floor of Death. Floor of Death is what I meant. when he realized Bam was an irregular and he told him about the world out there with stars and everything. Like I think he might just be a regular dude from like Korea that came into the tower. That's my tin foil hat, whatever. Um, Unlike family heads who live outside the tower before coming in, but we don't know if everyone comes from the same region. Like Bam was technically born in the tower, then died and revived by the outside god and was in a cave. Like where if they come from different places? Like I think the 13 great warriors probably came from the same world, but what if where Rek and Enryu come from is not the same place where the 13 great warriors come from? Do we know for a fact every irregular is pulled from the same like planet Earth? We don't know. We don't know. I've seen this question, but when do you think Bam became morally gray? You could probably make that case where Bam lost his like super goody two shoes persona when he was JVG, though we knew he was doing that mostly to protect his friends, but it isn't that he didn't do bad things in order to protect his friends. And by the third season, he was bodying Houndborns instead, and like during the Cat Tower, he was killing Beastkins and stuff like that too, and fully embraced the fact that he was waging a war in order to save his master. So people would probably say around there more often than not, but I think you can make the case that he lost that level of innocence and ability to be that once he became Juvial Grace. To each their own, though. Is it confirmed that the tower people working in the workshop leave the tower, or they work for people outside the tower? We don't know for sure. It'd be interesting if also if there's a outside workshop that just does its own thing, and then the workshop elsewhere does its own thing. But I feel like they should be connected, or at least somebody there knows about the other one. Like maybe the leader of the workshop is in contact with the outside god or some shit like that. Awful individual, he said. I will get the impression from him that he doesn't really know about the outside world. The way he talks about it as well, he wants to see the sky he never saw before. I might be wrong. He would need to reread it as well. Bam doesn't know what the night sky looks like. Rachel does for some reason. Urek spoke about it like he was aware of it. Like where he came from, there's a huge world out there with a night in the sky, but maybe he's speaking from knowing there's supposed to be one. But I think that's not a bad video like topic of discussion. Like how aware is Urek Mazino of the outside world or something? I'll think about it. I won't lie to you guys. I haven't. I feel like I've been relying on shorts a lot and haven't really been creating too much a lot from scratch except for whatever I had going on. But that's not a bad idea. It's not. Where was I? Now, of course, some characters who have done some deeds, how evil it may depend on situation or skill, can end up changing for the better, or they're trying to make up for it, so they can end up becoming better people. But then again, it's all about the readers who would apply their morals to the characters, so it varies on the end, on their end. I agree with that. I agree with that. I know Earth got shrunken down in SAU's previous story, but I don't know how that story ended. Oh, do you think Rachel is Arlene's memory, which is why she knows it all? But I don't know if I like that if everybody had a person. No, but Leviathan's a living being, though. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I'd say maybe she read Arlene's pocket or diary because the diary still exists, and that's what made N go crazy. I don't know. I don't think so, though. I'm gonna go with no. But I don't know. It's interesting to think about. I want to know how Rachel found Bam. Yep. Def think the workshop from the outside made a workshop inside the tower as well to do research because they're trying to figure out everything out. That's their purpose. So yeah, regardless, hard to say about Iraq how much knowledge or experience he has outside, but it definitely seems that it's somewhat limited. Or SIU, which is cucking us on purpose for one of regulars just mentioned doing anything about the outside, hoping she read and isn't her actual memory. To be honest, yeah, I like the idea that she maybe read the pocket and didn't go crazy for whatever reason. It's hard to say, man. It really is. There's just so much going on and with so many early blog posts when you wanted. I know some stuff's not canon anymore. Or people say some stuff got retconned. We know something's got retconned, but it's hard to say because they gave us so much information to salvitate about before we ever got there. Speaking about Eurasia's ability to like accelerate Shinsu, and stuff like that. And then there's some statements that I'd argue are contradictory at this moment, saying that Bam isn't the most talented. FUG wants him more because of his irregular status and the fact that he'd be able to kill the irregulars that are running the tower, the 10 great family heads and Jihad. But yeah. I lost my train of thought. I don't know why. A piece of sleep just hit me, bro. I want to take a nap. What's wrong with me? I'm old. Hard to say when you don't tell anything, right? Are we going to forget that Ban had dreams of trauma raised memories, and yet SC never brought it up again? I think it'll become relevant. Like he'll talk about it when it's extremely relevant. But yes, we do know that. We'll see. I think he's just saving that one. That one, I think he legitimately is just saving for the right time. Like, do you even know 10 family heads know what the purpose of the tower or how much they know what they are? Maybe they lost those memories. Maybe Tower of God becomes, Bam breaking the shackle on the tower to unlock the way up so we can see the true purpose. The thing that I hear from the Tower of God community the most about what the purpose of the tower is to create an axis. I don't think that's a bad take. But we know you could become an axis without coming to the tower, because Pentaminim is an axis that came to the tower when he already was one. Maybe it has multiple functions. Maybe the first chapter, chapter 0, wasn't lying. You reach the top, you get a wish for whatever you want. I don't know. Like, that would make sense. An artificial way to create an axis, and maybe it's made by the workshop. We'll see. The tower is just a wish granting device. Again, that could be it, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. If like the little thing is, hey, Naya, you did it. You climbed all 206 floors. I'm not saying the 206 floors, just a number I threw out there. What is thy wish? And I'm like, give me the thickest, baddest bitch in the world. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm okay if that's actually like what the tower is for. Now, does it only work once though? Like once someone makes a wish, the tower disappears. Could I climb the tower and in like 1,000 years someone else does it? Like I don't know. There's so much. We have so much. We really have like we're just speculating. We're trying to put the pieces together based on the little information that we have, and we're rationalizing a lot. Why are we changing the lore? I don't know. Fatman might have came inside to check it out to see if it would to check out if it would work or test it. So you might have kept climbing to the last floor after storming Jahad's palace. I don't know. I think he's like it's mid in here and he left, but it's not impossible. But SIU did say that Penta might not actually like ever appear again. But why wouldn't he clear out the family heads since you can't create an axis if these 10 fuckheads are cucking people from climbing higher? We don't even know why they locked it off, right? So I think we'll get that reasoning once we see why there's the 134th floor. And I just had this thought on the spot. Put my tinfoil hat on and let me know what y'all think about this. Oh wow, I lost it. No. No. My memories. Memories. I lost my memories. Somebody go retrieve my book. Wait. I just had it. What did I just read? Hold on. Changing lore. He kept. What if the reason that Jihad and the Great Warriors pretty much ended up vying and maybe getting the immortality contract was because they feared what was on the higher floors. So in that moment of fear, they opted for immortality instead. So at the very least, they can't die. You like that, eh? You on the spot too. You like that? Hold on. I know you like that. Give me my credit. Give it to me. Praise me. No, I'm kidding. Um, what if I was a prison for the Axis to put the most powerful enemies in the world that they control? I think I've heard that once. I think I've heard that once on Reddit that it's actually a prison for Axis or the most powerful people in the Tales user story universe to keep them in check. I personally I just go with what this chapter 0 says. You get your wish granted if you reach the top. That's my personal opinion. The one piece at the top of the tower. In the carnival, the Axis who created the tower said they were to create a god. He didn't say to create an Axis, so they wanted to create something more powerful than an Axis. Okay. Talk with SIU. The next few chapters are our lane focus. Oh, thanks, bro. Um, tell SIU that we have to hit up the baby shower that I'm having for my kid in 3 days. I sent the RSPV. Just let him know. Um, yeah, we know SIU personally. If Grant didn't know that, I got his number. I could call him right now. Want me to FaceTime him? So if you want to create someone more powerful than Axis, wouldn't you send an Axis though? Now that people aren't Axises or Axises, maybe for some reason the Axis would be impossible. So maybe you have to be something else to become the god of the tower that could supersede what an Axis is. But again, I just think it's a wish granted device though. How many do you think SU got left for this story? What percentage story are we cleared? Okay, Naya, you're cooking something. Let's try a little. Minimum 6, maximum 11. Especially if he keeps doing hiatuses and breaks. I'm 6 to 11 years, honestly. I think I'll be like almost 40 when the story ends. But 6 minimum. 'Cause That's my. I'm around the same thing with OP. I think One Piece will be about 6 years and a max about a decade. So I think before I turn 40, One Piece will be done. But maybe around the time I'm 40, and maybe I have some mini me's running around. I don't know. I prefer warriors tired from their journey just decide to stop the journey. Jihad decided to rule the people and make a status quo to change the make the ever changing tower stagnant. You don't think there has to be a? I don't know if just like I'm tired of climbing is a good. I don't know if I like that as a good enough reason. I don't know. I think I need more than that. I like the idea that they were scared of something more. Hello, welcome. How long have I been live? Uptime. Live for like what? Like an hour 40. We'll go beyond 2 hours. We're just chilling. We're just talking. We're just chilling. We're not even necessarily focused on the chapter right now. We're just talking, throwing out theories, prognosticating, doing all that stuff. You get your wish granted if you go from the outside to become an Axis after climbing the tower guard. Whatever, get your wish granted. That would be your wish. That's why you weren't running the tower. LOL. We definitely cooking out here. Damn, we know SIU. You know SIU, and he's still letting him fumble. So you're an accomplice to a fraud. He said I'm an enabler. I'm enabling this story to be bad. I hit him with you write and draw whatever makes you happy, man. Instead of being, hey, this ass, fix it. I don't really like the idea of the tower being there to create an access because the idea that anybody being able to become an access is way more interesting to me. I could feel that. If Jihad alone was tired, there's no reason to fight Arlene and V. True. True. Again, I'm just gonna go with what we know. You reached the top of the 206 chapter. To reiterate again, I'm not saying there's 206 floors. I'm just being an ass. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out a number. You get your wish. Shenron pops out the tower or Purunga, and he goes, "Hey, fuck you want from me, man?" And then you're like, "I want $100 in pennies," and you get your wish. Yo, see, this is why I'm not allowed to have wishes. I waste them. I will waste my wishes. What is your first wish? I wish to know that if I need to know the answer to this question. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? And you're like, nigga, are you serious? Grab my wish, you fuck ass dragon. That's what I'm doing. I'm so unserious. If we won't be seeing accesses anyways, I probably agree with that. The tower's a prison, that would be cool. Maybe that's the access went to Jihad. The Hangway families might be a terrorist group trying to destroy the accesses. That'd be interesting. I believe there has to be a reason because even if you were tired of climbing, why would you seal the floor to the 105th floor and split the keys in 12 weapons and multiple rings? That wouldn't make sense because it's like you're hiding or locking away something. For all I know, maybe this is actually to protect the tower inhabitants in the 131st floor and lower. I don't know. I have no idea why the tower is locked off like that. But I agree. If you make such a sophisticated key, split into 13, create the ghost of the 13-month series, which is supposed to take over anyone who tries to ignite both, meaning the idea of collecting all 13 are impossible, plus the two rings that are with the clones of people who would likely possibly look like Jihad, there's got to be more than just yo. How many more floors you think are in the tower? I don't know, man. Bro, I'm done, bro. Lock it off. Lock it off. Let's just. I'm gonna become king, and you wanna just rule and just like do our own thing. Yeah, I guess. Like I there's got to be more. I think there's more to it than that. But if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to admit that I was wrong. What if, wait, where was I at? I believe that. Wait, well, anyone can become an actor, but towers could be an experiment by someone like the workshop who's trying to figure out how everything works, trying to make it. Okay, so maybe like it's an experimental tower. Okay, I like that. Vince, I'm assuming that the most people don't become an access, even though anyone could technically can if they awaken. In the data floor, Zahar said it was his destiny to go on an endless adventure. Maybe Zahar saw the fate and decided it was a horrible fate. He said, "I am not Ash Ketchum. I am not. There is. I am not Ash Ketchum. This adventure ends today." What if the 131st floor is the final floor we got scammed? Do I hate that idea? That's the final level. And there's a final boss. I don't know. Okay, I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Doesn't Jihad also have some rare monster in him? I don't remember it clearly. You need to reread. Didn't he show it to someone? I don't remember. It's what people see in him. Bam had that visceral reaction when he first saw him and freaked out too, even though Bam is like a very strong irregular. It's like some weird demon in him or something. Maybe it's akin to the shit that Bam has inside his body. Imagine it's like Rick and Morty and the tower is just a car battery. Any theory about this is a hard symbol inside the cave Bam was trapped? That the Bam was trapped? Theory crafting isn't my specialty. I'm more of a critical thinker and like I could deconstruct what I just read and what I've just experienced. But I think the outside god might be related to that. Whatever revived Bam revived him in that cave because I don't think it was an immediate revival. Maybe it took a while for it to bring him back to life and then give him the energy to move or something of the sort. I'll think about that. Let me think about it. Maybe Jihad's supposed to be the final test and 10 free families are too. Then he just beat the tower. There might be similar demons to the ones in the white flashback, and they are sealed off in the higher floors. So to think of the layers of hell, but in reverse. The bottom is the worst, and the top is the worst. Okay, y'all boys, theorycraft. No, yeah, we all here. We trying. This is all we have, Vince. This is all we have. This chapter was so fucking mid, bro. Jihad peeked into the boss room and said he ain't about it and made an excuse. He said, "I'm gonna." He said, "I'm gonna save my game here and never play the last boss." To be honest, the hard being the final boss or not really depends on SCU's health because SCU's health becomes even more dog shit. Then he won't be able to make a villain after Zahard. I think that makes sense from a real world standpoint. Could agree with that. I could agree. Doing my source dance, swinging my wait. Well, I would assume SIU would want to write, or was planning to at least at the TOG since he made a whole world at TOG just one story. Yeah, I think his MCU concept is cooked because I don't think he considered how long it would take, how it would have an effect on his health, how old he'd be when this story ended. But maybe he will still continue to make Tales user stories. But I think that concept is kind of cooked now. I don't really believe in the whole universe thing. I talk about it, I'll bring it up. I'll talk about the stories that I'm aware of in it, and I've have some videos talking about the Tales user story universe. But I don't think he's got it in him to make like two, three other stories in the same universe as Tower of God, even though it's like a self-contained thing. We're not getting the MCU, the Webtoon MCU. We're not getting that, man. Abandon it. Abandon hope. Give up on your dreams. Give up on abandon. Cast them away. I think the tower could be the hidden floor. Could be like the hidden floor, and the only real people are the irregulars. The rest are just characters up to date. That'd be kind of crazy. That's some Professor Layton and is it what world was it when everybody was a puppet? Is it the first Layton game? Prefer Essie Mizahar, a really amazing villain, and focus on him and deliver rather than unknowing to terrifying entity behind the locked door that may or may not happen. You don't want Kaguya, bro. We don't want Madara. We want Kaguya. We want Kaguya. We want a random villain we didn't know exists until the last 6 chapters. I think the TOG universe will have some sort of spin-off, at least 3 stories, but not long ones. Okay, actually, I could do some spin. I could see some spin-offs and omakes and one-offs. Maybe I could see that. At the end of the story, Bam reaches the top of the tower and Rachel pushes him off. He gets Spartan kicked off the tower and has to reclimb. And that's the cycle in the loop. Every time he reaches there, someone kicks him off, and then now he's a 26 Bam. We could have made he could shorter stories. Yeah, he could have just made shorter, more concise stories since he made a whole universe like that instead of making a big story with so many characters and just one story of the world. SCU's not Araki. He don't got the goods. He don't got 60 years of in him. Granted, Araki's obviously a vampire, and the stone mask is not something that he invented. It's something he found and put on and then put it in the story. I'm convinced that nigga's a vampire. The tower is a jump king reference. You see the SEO is taking Tails U story out from the TOG chapters, even if he accepts it's not going to happen. There it is. There it is. Honestly, I really like that idea and concept, but I think maybe he should have started with some shorter ones, made them canon, and then do a long form one in Tower of God and see what he can do after the fact. But maybe after Tower of God, he'll do some that are like anywhere from 1 to 30 chapters or so. But it's a different skill to be able to tell a complete story in a concise manner. The same way it's a different set of skills and traits you need to tell a long running story spanning multiple years. It takes different skill sets. I actually think some people are better at writing long stories and are not good at making the close story that's less than like 100 chapters or so. So that remains to be seen. Um, he could do a curry guy with some side stories. He could do that. That's a possibility. He used to somewhat like give us extra tidbits in tangent with the chapters with the blog post, but I heard he stopped doing those too for the most part. I don't know if that's true though. I just don't. I just stopped reading them because I just think they're bullshit. I think he just be lying in there. He writes whatever the hell he wants in the moment, whatever he feels in the moment. Maybe in the moment he means what he's writing down and what he's saying, but you just never know how your story is going to evolve. Because one thing you always have to account for is reaction fan base and maybe how your editors and publishing company try to steer you. I've said this because apparently this is not common knowledge amongst like the most staunch of Naruto fans, but Sasuke was not a character that was created in the original Naruto like conception. His Kishimoto's editor is the one that suggested that he needed a rifle type of thing, and look what Sasuke became. That was not an original plan. And then like with like DBZ, I believe based on what I've known and I've read, it's been a while since I've reviewed this information, so take this with a grain of salt. He actually intended to have Dr. Gero and like the fat android be the villains of that arc because it's Gero and it ties into the Red Ribbon Army. But then it's aired. There's like a fatso and a geezer. Back to the drawing board. So he made 17 and 18. Is it Lapoli and Lazuli? They're like the main antagonists are some brats. Back to the drawing board. Then he made Cell. Like, okay, we got something here. Cell, semi-perfect form. Now he got nigga lips. And then, then he's perfect for himself. Then, like, we got a decent villain. So you have to account that you never know how the reaction to your story is going to force you to have to change certain things. Like maybe a character you didn't care about becomes insanely popular, and now you feel obligated to keep that character in the story. I think of an example that happened with. I think that I don't know this for sure. I just feel like that's what happened with Byakuya in the Thousand Year Blood War. He really meant to write him out, but the backlash because of how popular he was, he kept him around. Anyways, sorry. Let me go back up. I missed a couple comments. My fault. I went on a little tangent there. A little ranty rant. It's weird too because take something like One Piece because you get one chapter a week and some weeks you don't. The one chapter has to be good enough, engaging enough. Yes, as anyone said, the tower is actually upside down or goes deeper underwater, and that's why the pressure increases. The tower technically goes underground, and the top floor is the central of that world. I don't know. Upside down tower is my early assumption to read, so probably not though. I don't even hate that idea that it's inverted in some weird way. So as you're going higher, you're actually going deeper, and that's why Shinsu acts more like a liquid. I can see why you came to that conclusion. So Naya, this is a more related question to the current events. How long do you think until the war ends? Is it the rest of season 3? No, I think season 3 will end up being pretty long. If if he's gonna have a fourth season in the first place, but actually, if this war ends and it actually like a tidy conclusion, like the annihilation of the Lopobia or Traumerway was beaten and captured, maybe you take a break there to set up the next season and arcs and whatnot. But I don't even think he intended to end season 2 the way that he did, but his health deteriorated amongst some other things that forced him to. That's a good question. I'm gonna go with if it wraps up neatly and tidily, that'll end season 3 and on some the beginning embers of the 10 great warriors feud war. But if it doesn't, we'll just keep going. And you'll just end it whenever it feels like it. DBZ trash. Fair enough. Oh, great minds think alike. The original Naruto ideas sounded really ass. I don't even remember it at this point. Yun had his memories are in the fire first, so couldn't gonna get them. I don't really like the kind that kind of format. I'd rather read an already completed story or a story that already has a lot of chapters than the author takes time to complete this, like a book writer. Just get a new book with a complete story after some time. I feel it. Case in point, Trafalgar Law. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be that important. It was just Kid, and then he created the other supernova like a chapter or a few chapters before. To be frank, Naruto Shippuden was so bad it seemed so clear that Kishimoto didn't think too much ahead for a story like Oda does, for example. I do think Oda's not in that mode anymore. I don't think he's. I think Oda is currently in this era of I make it up as I go. I have a comment to make about that in a second. You reminded me to make the comment on this. Where do you think Jin Sung went? He was rescued. Suggested a merit tournament. Refused to explain leaves. Man, fuck that nigga. I have no idea where he went. That's a good question. Where the hell did he go? What mission is he on? This shit is crazy. I think that's it with Byakuya and Akainu too. I don't know. I don't think Akainu was ever meant to die. Actually, I don't know if I've read that in any SBS or interviews, and I know I didn't get the inclination that was the case. But Byakuya definitely felt that way. That's intuition. I'm not using my brain here. I'm not thinking that, but yeah, I think the situation with Byakuya, yeah, it's happened with the great fairy tale. So the tower is made in the abyss type hole. I don't like made in the abyss. Oh, what was I gonna say? Okay, so the mineral, which kills me every week when I ask questions, he just goes, "That's how you be making this shit up, man." And somebody always claps back. Isn't that what every story is? You know exactly what he meant when he said that. And here's what I mean when I say that: you're making it up as you go along. So every week, when you have that new blank sheet of paper, you're thinking about what just happened and what's going to happen in the moment, where a lot of creative teams, authors, game designers, script writers, TV show creators, all stuff, they conceptualize a lot of things to happen throughout maybe 1 to 3 seasons or a certain frame period. They might not have all the minutia of how exactly everything's going to happen, but they have an idea. This event takes us to this event that's connected to this event that splits into two, but then reconverges into this ultimate climax. When we say that, it seems like he's just making it up as he goes in the moment, which is why there's so many inconsistencies. And I think it takes a very, very talented writer and creative team to literally be like, we made this first chapter having no idea what's coming next, and we did the same thing with chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and beyond. I don't know if you guys agree. I don't know if you guys agree with that. Where was I in the comments? I think season 2 Tower God is great, even with the last station. I think season 2 is the peak of Tower God for me. I see interesting. It feels like season 4 needs to start with a chunky time skip, maybe like a notable one where even they get a little bit of like beard hair or something. Found TOG, then season 2 would have ended with the silhouettes of all the family heads and their huge heavy hitters. Example: Bike, Ryun, and Three Lords. Okay, I don't think the war will wrap up with the current direction. I think Lobadan will get the book and negotiate with Gusling Chow and break free beforehand. Interesting. This time with the clap machine shit. Warlord weren't a thing at first either. Oda said he got the idea from them later on, and that's why One Piece kept getting longer and longer because he owes something new. Yes, it was originally supposed to be 5 years in general, and we're like 23 years in now. Do you think SIU has regained the trust? Has regained the fandom trust? I think he I think with coming back, he created enough of a good rapport and goodwill that we're willing to like we're still like looking like, "Oh, what are you doing over there?" But we're looking. Where I would have argued before, he lost us, and we're like, we don't even know why we're here. Like I was openly honest. One of the reasons I continue to keep covering it is because I had a monetary incentive to do so, and I've never hidden that from anybody. Tower God is a thing most people come to my channel for. That's why I kept going, even though I wasn't having the best time. I can't speak for everybody else. I think he's built up enough good rapport that people have intrigue. He's done some stuff with the family heads that we're interested. We want it to be good, but regain the trust. I don't think he's fully done that yet. But maybe with some people. Season 3 ending with the remaining family heads meeting up and maybe they dissolve or maybe Queen Islands. I just made it up. I kind of like it though. The thing is, you have to have an idea for the world story characters well thought up before you start writing a story. And the better job you did with that, the better you can incorporate the new characters, plots, and ideas and find a place for them. I absolutely agree. You have to build that foundational piece that can hold the entire structure of the household on top of it when you're building on top of it. Maybe you're like, actually, I'm actually gonna add a little closet here, but because you have that blueprint and architect that you made a really good design house, you're like, I actually can add this here and it wouldn't throw off the equilibrium or whatever. You can obviously tell I don't know how to build anything, but you get my point. I don't know how to build nothing. Now, yeah, people have told me I don't need to read the story anymore because I put a mean comment on that short. Maybe I should drop it. You can do whatever you want. It's a free country. Tell them to suck the longest hair on your ass. SU made TOG in the military, so it makes more sense because he made more time to iron it out. I think SU is going through something in his life. He does not have the girlfriend, or at least no kids. So I think that could be limiting his writing. I will never discount what real world effects could have on somebody's ability to produce something. I don't know much about his real life. I know he was in the military because South Koreans have a mandatory service of a couple of years or so, even if you don't like fully serve or go to war or whatever. I don't come from a military background or family, so I don't know much about the military like that, especially not South Korea's. But yeah, I don't know if he's sad or single and wants he needs some coochie. I don't know. Why did I laugh? That was mean. I'm sorry. Hold on. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not. I unfortunately, I'm not the person that give people those type of excuses because we all gotta suck it up and go through the world every day. You think I'm happy all the time? I still gotta come on here and stream, make videos, go into the world, lift heavy shit, and make money. That's life, man. That is what it is. So I don't cry tears for anybody. Usually, when I write a story or a plot, I usually have major bullet points, and then I go and fill in the gaps with the bullet points. But yeah, I'm no professional. That is actually my general writing process for the most part. I would usually say I have the beginning, let's call it the first arc, completely written out. And I know exactly how I want it to lead into the next arcs and events and stay tangentially connected, what characters may change or pop back up later. But I kind of make the general and then I fill it in a way that makes sense. And here's a personal thing that I do when I'm creating a story. I map out my entire timeline. What do I mean by that? Let's say I wrote One Piece. And let's say the earliest thing we know in the One Piece universe is the Void Century. I would have all of that history written in up until current time of One Piece when Luffy's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go find the One Piece," and then later on, like I have my entire if I have to flash back, I already have that shit mapped out and written out, and I find the perfect time to implement it into the story via backstory time or whatever the case is. That's just my personal process, though. Everyone's is different. But I like to do the groundwork before I get into like the meat and potatoes because I think working on your fundamentals and the basics is what allows you to become advanced more often than not. That's just me. Basically, best you said, hear me out, and the fandom said, I'm listening. Yeah. I think the worst part of TOGs was the cage. I agree. The beginning of the nest was okay, but the middle nest was really bad. Like the white stuff, yeah. And the end game was decent. From Per Diddy, Purchase, Holland showed up. I agree with that. I still think the worst TOG. I think the worst of TOG is better than 60% of news stories I read. I can't say that I like new shit, so I might agree with that. Like most new TV shows and manga and webtoons and games, and a lot of them I don't really like. I'm very particular about what I spend my time on, so that's fair. Because I don't even like Chainsaw Man or like I don't dislike JJK. I just don't love it as much as other people do, and people get mad at me for that. Like Black Clover, I don't care for. All those new Marvel TV shows like Secret Invasion and shit, all ass. I stay in my lane. I find my little indies, find my little independent comics, and I do my thing. I'm eating over here. I be reading fire. What y'all know about Monstress? To be frank, in Korea, you have to go to the military, so you're just planning to probably be a writer already. You just have to go. I think I remember him starting and then being in the military doing it and then leaving, but I could be misremembering that. You learned about the military thing from Smutwood, didn't you? No, actually, I think I got that from SIU, and that's when I learned that. No, I knew that because of I think SIU might have said it in the blog post, but I knew that because of Son, who plays for Tottenham Hotspurs, and there was something he had to do for like South Korea or something, and they were gonna allow him not to have to serve mandatory time in Korea. This is a football player, so I think that's how I know. I think that's why. But no, it's not Smutwood. But Smutwood did tell me that too. Tower God would have been better with Smutwood. I don't know. I remember you said I need SAU to be good for a year to grab you back. Yeah, like a solid year. And all things considered, I may have not been a super fan of the last two chapters, but I think they've been more entertaining and good than they've been bad. So I'm not in a bad place with the series right now. I'm just not like this chapter did not move me. That's all. SU making great women with no sample size to draw from, the experience would be funny. SU made a blog post right before the hiatus. He was talking about how he was looking at his life and how his friends and have wives and kids, and he was looking at his own life. Shit, I feel that everyone in my life right now, like you gotta know, I'm 30 now. Like I turned 30 this year, earlier this year. Like, yeah, my friends are like buying property, going into their houses, renting houses, getting married, popping out kids and shit like that. And I'm looking around like I'm just aping. I'm just aping. So I understand that, but I mean, I would remind you that a comparison is the thief of joy. Is it? Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's a saying. Everyone's on their own schedule and timeline. Your life is not someone else's life. You have to move at your own pace. Remember that. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. I like GTK characters in the universe, but is okay. But the characters are what make you keep watching. Example: Toto the Chad. You said that like, well, hold on. Are you an anime watcher or a reader? Because my problem is that I don't like any of the characters. Every character that I like died, can't fight anymore, is sealed, or I guess it's not as important as I thought they were gonna be. Granted, one of them came back. I do like Gojo, but like my favorite, I think part of the thing too is I don't think they're gonna top. I actually think Mahito was a great antagonist. I really liked Mahito, and now that he's not here, I'm not invested. I don't know. Secret Invasion has ass. I know that. I didn't have to watch to know that. I know it's ass. I know how important the secret. I'm about to nerd out about Marvel for a second, but I know you guys any idea how crazy Secret Invasion was in the comic book? Reading that someone of heroes you've been following and reading issues of for so long were fucking Skrulls. You cannot have no Secret Invasion without the proper super scroll and all of those things. It doesn't work that way. You can't now. Now they're trying to Rhodey. No, no, no. You guys are ass. You've been super cooked since Endgame. But as far as I'm concerned, you had a lot of stinkers up until Endgame, as far as I'm concerned. But story for another day. I think a great story that most people probably don't know about is Red Storm. I liked Red Storm when I read it way back. It's just been such a long time. Really enjoyed that. Kind of connected to Peerless Dad Universe too. That I didn't know. I didn't know it was connected to Peerless Dad though. But I used to read Red Storm so long ago. But I used to read a lot of things like Windbreaker and Lookism and this and that and the third Girls of the Wilds. But that's done though. And I'm just washed up, bro. I read the manga and I know what you mean. Mahito was a really good villain. At the pace we're going, TOG have like a solid 10 years, heck, even more. We only know two families secretly. DGK was good when it started, but now the manga's still one series and I dropped the series. Yeah, I know what happens because people talk about it. I just don't care about it. Like sometimes people don't understand this about me. Me saying I don't care about like Kingdom Hearts isn't necessarily an indictment on the series. I mean, I don't fucking care. Naya, are you gonna go watch? Like, I did watch Oppenheimer because me and my boy we watched Christopher Nolan movies together. We've been doing this for years. This is our thing. The only one I didn't end up seeing with him was Tenet. But that being said, I'm like, bro, I have no interest in this. I'm not a cinema file. I'm not a cinema guy. I don't care about movies like that. It has to be a movie I particularly have an interest in to go check out on my own. So yeah. So me being like I don't have any deep investment in JJK isn't even me saying the series is good or bad or somewhere in between. It just means Naya Hemmings personally does not fucking care. And I'm tired of people being mad at me for not caring about something that they care about. You think niggas care about shit that I care about? They don't. It's fine. Free country. Live your life. I feel like Naya when if he finished JJK when it's all finished will either hate or be unmoved, but maybe too much Togashi DNA. Hopefully he sees the vision though. Yeah, I'm not a Togashi guy. At the pace we're going, I read that already. Sorry. Rhodey was a scroll, and then that thing cried for Tony's death. Well, the scrolls get the memories and emotions of the person they copy though. I think that the Giskar trap was interesting. It just the problem is that the stakes don't seem that high when the opposite of the trap's purpose make it kind of underwhelming. I feel it. Mbappe to Real Madrid, yay or nay? Listen, I I need him out of PSG. I hate. There's two clubs I don't like. It's Bayern and Paris Saint-Germain. I don't like them. I do want him to go to Madrid, but I want him to go the right way. And from my understanding, Mbappe doesn't like playing through the middle. With Rodrigo on the right, I think, and with Vinicius on the left, where Mbappe likes to play, that could cause some issues. So I don't know, but I want him to go there. I don't want him in PSG anymore. But if he could go to another team that's equally as good, another big team like a MU, Manchester United or something, and make it work, I'm here for it. But as long as he leaves that fucking French ass club, that's all I need. I want him out of there. Get out of League On. Okay, it's not moving anybody. I'm tired of your League On titles, your Uber Eats. Get out of there. I'm not a Farmers League nigga. I'm not even calling the Farmers League. But just get out. Get out. Why did you resign? Damn it. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, Noya from Red Storm is the Peerless Dad universe and gets sent back to that world. The Red Storm takes place. I read Peerless Dad 2, which isn't finished yet online. At least it's a bit different story compared to other usual shonen stories. So it's kind of like Young B the Great, how it connects to Gosu. It's all Young B the Invincible, Young B the Great connects to Gosu. Okay, that makes sense. Don't care equals don't hate too, but people sadly don't think. Yeah, think care equals is bad. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I like that I don't particularly care about. Nolan's been missing for a while now. Has he? What's your What's my favorite Nolan movie? Inception, Memento, and Batman Begins. I think so. That sounds right. He made Memento, right? I think so. I don't know. I'm not a movie guy again. No, I wonder what do you think about Attack on Titan? I feel like a lot of motherfuckers go crazy about shit. Oh, I don't like that shit at all. I am not an Attack on Titan fan. Now, do I think it's the worst manga? It's fucking shit, trash, garbage. Honestly, no. I just don't like it. I just don't care for it. When I realize it's just another zombie story and like fleshy, big, like flesh mechas, it stopped moving me. I think Jaegerists are annoying, and they actually don't understand Aaron's character because Aaron's character actually hasn't really changed throughout the story. He was somebody who always cared about freedom. and always had to rely on his friends to help him out. And because he got a six pack and a man bun, he became the greatest character of all time. So I admit a lot of the reason, a lot of the disdain I have for the series is because that fan base is insufferably annoying and pretentious, and they're all pseudo intellectuals for the most part. They're not intelligent. But I'm not an Attack on Titan guy, and I think Isayama's art is fucking dick. That shit is ugly. And I don't like how he panels it. Anyways, honestly, that Elaine panel might be the panel of the season. You see that? Why are you hitting on my Bayern? Fuck you. I'm tired of you. Leave me alone. I hate Bayern. Okay, they're evil of the Bundesliga the same way PSG is the evil of Liga. Wait. Rudy was a scroll. Was the one we were watching the whole time? My understanding is they switched. I think they switched him when he got hit by the beam from Vision. No, when Vision had the Mind Stone. I think that when he went to the hospital, they swapped him. But Rhodey would be one of the easiest people to to replace because Iron Man has no powers. Iron Patriot, War Machine has no powers. You just have to be able to pilot the machine. Whereas I think they did some shit to create Super Skrulls in the show. I don't know. I know watch it. To be honest, he's wasting his time in PSG. He needs to leave. Thank you. I don't know why he stayed there for so long, man. Someone lied to me and said Katek Hitman War remake is coming, but I don't believe it. What's your opinion on the OG anime? I love the OG anime. It just has a lot of problems. It's not perfect. It has a lot of issues, but I grew up with it. It's one of the like parts of my like of me growing up where I've had like Reborn is one of those series that had one of the best experiences being in a fan base that loved Reborn. Being on onemanga.com forum, which we made our own Zeta board called Katekyo Hitman Reboard with like Harlan Phoenix, Froggy 99, and my boys from way back in the day just theorizing, talking about it, having a good time. Has a lot of songs and moments that I like, but the anime fumbled with blood. It's not bloody enough. It started off with blood, but later on they like scaled it back and some things looked weird. And I thought traveling back in time twice during the future arc was a bit much. Though I'd like the content we got with the Alcobareno because the Alcobareno. Let me put my ring on. Hold on. My reborn ring on. Y'all know that I'm the Vongola family leader. Yes, sir. But yeah, I thought going back twice was a bit much, and then it obviously ended abruptly. We never got the Shimon and the Alcobaleno Curse of the Rainbow arc, but Reborn holds a high. It's high in my, it's deep in my heart. Will always be one of my favorite things, man. I love that series. But I saw when they were talking about the new anime, I didn't believe them either. There's no source that I trust that actually like said that. Elaine's my goat. I need more hopium. To be honest, it's really hard to write a series or movie and make it fresh. Yeah, everything is derivative to some degree, which is why I think your personal life experiences and what you bleed into your narrative and story is what makes it wholly unique. It's how you specifically have intersected and reacted to things in the world that makes you uniquely you. Like Frieza was based off of, I think was it, I don't know if it was loan sharks or landlords because and at the time, I guess maybe Toriyama didn't have money or whatever. And in his mind, the worst fucking person in the planet were like landlords. So he made Frieza based off that concept. Like that's how you write a story, in my opinion. So yeah. Prestige, Dark Knight, etc. are my favorites. I'm not a Dark Knight stan. I think people overrate that movie because I think that's a Heath Ledger character, whatever. I think the Dark Knight trilogy gets worse by the movie. The best one is Batman Begins, then it's Dark Knight, and the Dark Knight Rises. In hindsight, as the years go on, I kind of think it's like a middling movie, like above average, solid. It was like a 7 at best to me. But Anne Hathaway tax. Anne Hathaway, but so good, huh? Ghost Who Fights 2, oof. Korean Miriam stories really have shit general stories, so reading it for those amazing fights was great. I agree. Why do you hate Attack on Titan? I feel like I already explained that for a while now, so I think you probably heard me speak about it. Yeah, Attack on Titan is easily my type of story, but I think the story was decent. Just that most people go crazy over it. I don't know. Like I don't know what. A lot of people that haven't watched anime or whatever before also start with Attack on Titan, so they're obsessed with it. Attack on Titan is actually a really good. Especially, I think it's a pretty. It broke the anime threshold. People I know who don't like anime like Attack on Titans. It's one of those series, like One Punch Man. It's like Death Note. So I hear it. Harry Kane coming to Bayern. That's fine. I don't really care about Kane like that, to be honest. So shout out to Kane. Have fun, dude. When they told me Masaka had deep personality, I gave on the fandom. Some fan bases will just lie to make their self look great. PSG gave Mbappe the craziest contract, so I understand why he stayed. He got 4 million euros today just as a loyalty bonus. Nah, man, I want to be the greatest. I wouldn't care about that money, man. Dude, I watched and read some because I came on board, and it was more than 10 years ago, and I believe I barely remember anything about it. I talk about it all the time. There's a running joke here because I had a series called Revisionist History, where we talk about manga and anime that have ended and talk about the perception of it at the time and how it's changed. And we did like 5 Reborn streams because me and my homies love Reborn, man. A nice ring, yeah. I have all of them actually. I have the first one. No, I'm missing one. I don't have the Vario ones, but I have the first one when it's connected. I have the unlocked version that Vongola Primo Giotto unlocks, and I have the Vongola gear for the Sky. I have the entire Sky set. Did I catch up to? Did I catch up to or what? I can't read that word for some reason. I can't read that word. I don't know. What about Maggie Gyllenhaal? Mid. Oh, she ugly as hell. Yeah, Toriyama is a genius ahead of his time. Who are the top 5 mangaka of all time? I have my personal Mount Rushmore, but I don't know if they're the greatest. I actually have Rumiko Takahashi on there. I do have Akira Toriyama on there. What did I have before? I forgot who I had before. But Akira Toriyama did do a lot. I don't know. I probably put I like Inio Asano myself though, but I don't want to overrate him. But I want to make that a stream though when we talk about our favorite the best mangakas. Let me think about that. But no, I have not read Ordeal since I said I was gonna. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I have a lot going on. I'm trying to move out. Like I'm house hunting, bro. Like I'm on tours. I'm trying to get like a decent rent. Like it's a lot going on, dog. I can't think what Ordeal right now. I'm trying to get a house. How have you read Natsuno Taizai, Seven Deadly Sins? Just curious. I feel like it gets a lot of hate for what it is. I I used to really, really like that series, and I used to ride for it, but I don't like how it ended up ending. I haven't read the spin-off, but shout out to Zeldris, Big Dick Zeldris, that's what I call him. Ominous Nebula's my guy. I like his Scanner and Ban. I think they're good characters. It had a lot of good moments, but I think that series started to fall off with the Estarossa Mael reveal. That's when I think it started to go downhill, in my opinion. I don't hate it as much as other people do, but I understand why people aren't a fan of it. And plus, the anime did a horrible job. I can see how people find One Punch Man fun. That type of story ain't for me. It feels like a story that doesn't go anywhere but doesn't give an explanation for what's going on. Just one story of a strong bald dude that he one shots monsters. That's it. There is funny shit too, but I don't know. I might be wrong since I haven't really watched it already. I like OPM, but I don't go crazy for it like other people do. But I don't read OPM for the fights. I read it more for its satirical elements. As far as the 2 stories that I know of that one has created, my favorite is Mob Psycho 100. I like Mob Psycho a lot. I think that's a better story in my opinion. Do you read any more Return to TOG Ordeal in the beginning after the end? Kubera. I used to read a lot of webtoons, like An Ordinary, Hardcore Leveling Warrior, Noblesse, but that's completed. Well, Hardcore Leveling Warrior is completed as well. I said Girls of the Wild. What's that one with the girl, the demon, the girl with the Reaper, the fucking scythe? I forgot that one. There's that one I used to read. Lookism I used to read. Red Storm, Gosu. I finished what's those scary ones called? There was Bastard and another one. Bastard and Sweet Home. Finished those. I read a bunch of Pornhua, Smutwa, from Brawling Go to S Study to RRBA to Sal to Drug Candy, She is Young, Household Affairs, H Mates. Like I read a lot. It's just that I genuinely like I every once in a while I say this and it shocks people. I don't think webtoons. I want to say this because if I make a web comic online, it's a webtoon, it's a web comic. But as far as line webtoon goes, or like Naver, I think they're top heavy. I think the majority of the shit they push out appeals to a certain niche audience, but it's bullshit. It's not very good, or it doesn't stay very good. So I can't say I love webtoon as a medium as a medium. The webtoons that I love are the exception, not the rule. I say it's about turn-based JRPGs too, because you might see me playing like Persona, but Persona is one of the few that I like. I don't really like turn-based games as on average. The ones that I play are the exception, not the rule. I think some people misconstrue that. So, but yeah, I used to read a lot of webtoons, dude. I did. I used to read Lore Olympus, Ecstasy Hearts, a lot of shit. Just stopped because I just don't care. And most of them, by the time I get to the end, I'm like, I feel like I wasted my time reading here because I didn't think the end justified the time and energy and journey I spent getting to the end. So yeah. Shout out to the Patreon. I don't know why I said it like that, but shout out to the CBLs. You know what I'm saying? That's some certified BAM lovers. They be loving BAM, Lil Bam James. But gotta give a bigger shout out to the Priest of Far. Appreciate y'all, man. They might be the real CBL because they certified brilliant lovers. But biggest and huge shout out to the fifth Zen Gods, the tier threes. Big shout out to Zyler Scotty, Zodiac Nemiko, Zachary Cooper, Urek Mazzino, Tino Brown, Tikos, Sunny Kathapali, Simi, follow him on Twitch, Shoddy to your body, Scope, Maury, shout out to Makai, Lucky Roo, Lazy Dragon, Johnny Rogers, Fairs, Tris, Danny 402. Is that a wonder or not? I'm not sure. Childish New Jabez, Andrew, my boy Alan, and Big Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. We moved on to ice soup to flavored air. Let's go.